What's up? I'm back.
Alrighty then, my roll chums. It is I, Daniel. You may call me the pop culture dude. It's another one of those vlog movie road trip videos like with Venom and Spider-Man, and now I'm doing it with some couple of guests. So introduce yourselves.
Yep, Alex again. I was here for Venom 2, and I was
Spider-Man.
here for No Way Home. And now we're back for Batman. This is an early screening. This is for Thursday, not Friday, Thursday.
Report on March 3rd.
Yep, because I mean, I had to see this movie on Thursday because my schedule's busy the next couple of days, and also I just want to see these boys, so.
And just to have some fun, to enjoy the movie, and do something different on the channel. But anyway, to introduce yourself, good sir.
I'm Gabriel. I think most of you know who I am, but
you should.
If you don't, I'm Gabriel. I'm his cousin.
Been my close bro for so many years.
And I'm here to have a good time. That's all.
That's why we're wearing some Magic Joker t-shirts.
Yep, got it for you. Well, it was Christmas, right?
It was around New Year's Eve, around that time. And for those who don't watch my top 10 most anticipated like movies video, I did say that the Batman is like number 3 on my list just because I'm interested on this new take for what Matt Reeves takes, this murder mystery detective type of take on Batman. Robert Pattinson looked like it's going to nail the role as Batman, and I just really cannot wait from this 3-hour Batman flick that we're gonna watch. So Alex, do you want to speak about what is your overall like expectations for this Batman in comparison to the history that you have with other Batman movies before from the past decades?
I'll go for it because I was absolutely like, I had a feeling this movie would go good, but the fact that like I was seeing people like rate it a 9, and then even on IGN a 10, I was like, what did they do? Like,
yeah, I was about to say, a lot of people are debating like, oh, it's better than the Dark Knight. No, Dark Knight's still king. I'm like, okay, I'm seeing a lot of high praise.
Like, holy crap! Like, it's not always every day that you get somebody rating something at like a very high rating, but like when it comes out of nowhere, a very high rating, chances are it might actually be really good. You know,
it might be top tier.
You know, I always have like, you know, the Dark Knight, and just the Dark Knight series in general always has a special place in my heart. But
Cinema.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. This might actually have a chance to.
Yeah, could this be one of the best or the definitive Batman movie? And the fact that it's the longest, so hopefully we can hold our bladders for it. But it really has some competition after the Nolan effect of the Batman trilogy. So I'm interested on seeing it, just because I like the aesthetics of the cinematography and the action sequences, including the king himself, Michael Giacchino, with his music score. I mean, I like his music work in No Way Home, and he's going to do other music work like Jurassic World, Thor, and the Buzz Lightyear prequel. But for the Batman, I cannot stop thinking of the music beats that goes feels the most Batman, but also it just feels like a bat just flapping up to the sky, to the moon, like it's the bat signal. So I can't wait till, I'm just gonna be like tuning into like the music soundtrack whenever I finish the movie, and I just really cannot wait for it. I mean, I have my experience of watching the Batman films, the Burton films, the Schumacher films, the Nolan films, and a little bit of Snyder films, and I guess some animated ones count, but this one definitely feels like the most Batman for what I've seen like on the big screen. And the fact that they delayed this movie a lot, so many times from the pandemic and until 2022, I definitely think this is like worth the wait for its March 4th release date, aka initially the release date of the Minecraft movie, but Batman took the cake from it. But Gabriel, isn't it true that you haven't seen like every single Batman movie? And
I haven't seen all the Batman movies, but I'll get to it. I've mostly been more, like when it comes to Batman, I've been more of like a TV show guy. I've watched like almost all the TV shows of Batman.
Including the animated series.
Like, I've been mostly into the animated stuff of Batman, and also the video games. I played all the Arkham games. I'm hoping that this movie is at least close or similar to like how the Arkham games were, because like those games were more like, it felt like a detective kind of game. Like you felt like a detective, which is what Batman is. He's the world's greatest detective. So I'd hope that this movie, you know, acknowledges that a lot. I didn't watch too many reviews, but I saw a lot of reactions on Twitter, and I saw that people were just praising this movie. Even before they watched it, like everyone's just been praising this movie. And I saw people say that it's their favorite comic book movie of all time, and
I've heard seen a lot of them,
movie, and all that stuff. And I'm just like, geez, I felt this movie was gonna be good, but like, I didn't think it would be that good. So I'm pretty excited. I hope it's better than I think it will be.
Wait till it hits the Academy Awards. And like I said, I definitely like the cast. And like I said, it's interesting to see a Zodiac Riddler, even though I will always have a soft spot for Jim Carrey's colorful, campy Riddler. But I'll be interested if Paul Dano's Riddler will like reinvent the villain, kind of like what Heath Ledger did with the Joker, even though I know Joker's not in the movie, but still, just a reminder of a great character that's been reinvented, that became iconic and legendary for not just Batman flicks, but for all cinema history. So hopefully it's good for this Riddler as well. And even though the movie's PG-13, and you mentioned Arkham, which I've heard recently director Matt Reeves is establishing the Batverse, about not just a Penguin spinoff, but also an Arkham Asylum spinoff, now that you mentioned that. Yeah. So I guess they're establishing the world after this just one movie. Sure, they have sequel talks, but we're going to expect a lot of HBO Max series based on this film.
I really wish this movie was like, you know how Iron Man, or I guess the Incredible Hulk, was like the start of the MCU. I wish this movie was like the start of the DCEU.
Mm-hmm.
And
before
like,
that,
Batman could like start off a bigger universe with more superheroes. And I wish that was the case, but I'm still glad we're getting a new Batman movie and a whole new universe.
Mm-hmm. Because, to be honest, we almost had the Affleck Batman film, but, you know, Affleck got tired of the role, and we're only going to see him once in the Flash movie, and director Matt Reeves wants to establish his own canon instead of just pre-existing events from the DCEU, and I just think that's the better way to go, because there's more creative control of the rogues gallery of characters without studio interference, where the director's more in control rather than the studio. Because look what happened to Justice League, and you know how that much of a disaster has been like behind the production. So luckily, I like that's very visionary, which makes this Batman movie feel so distinct. But also, what makes DC movies so special is they just do the opposite of what Marvel does, and I just think it's really clever.
Yeah. Even though, you know, like I wish I love the whole like idea of having a bigger universe and everything connected, but with what DC is doing, where it's like they're doing their own thing, like Joker, its own thing, and it was a huge success. I love that movie.
Same. You remembered.
Yes.
And now that they're doing it again with Batman, it's like they do a really good job with doing that, with doing their own thing.
Yeah, especially if it's a solo movie, it's just a lot more better, subjectively speaking.
Exactly.
But I'm all up for it. I can't wait to see it. Are you?
You are so lucky you contact me. Like seriously, I don't know if y'all noticed, but this thing was just a little bit kind of improvised, because we just sort of we kind of just started texting. And I wanted to see these two because it's been like a little bit of a minute, and like I know they want to see Batman. I was just thinking, holy crap, they actually do have the early screening for it. So I mean,
and we got lucky.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, I know he had plans, I have plans, and so does he too. That we could have like done something else during Thursday, but I'm glad recording this on March 3rd before it's released worldwide on March 4th. It's just amazing that we get a chance to communicate by saying, hey, let's just go watch this new Batman movie for like early screening at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time zone.
And then like the high ratings, it just makes me excited. You know?
Yeah, the reviews, like we said.
I made a good decision doing this.
So yeah, you made the right choice, and I definitely accept that. So I definitely say that we're in luck. So, anything else you have to say before we go to the theater?
Not really. I probably have to use a bathroom.
All right, let's go ahead before we don't pee our pants over when Batman's beating the bruises of criminals, and then we just wet our pants.
Yeah.
So, we'll be off to the theater. All right, as we're on our way to the theater, guess what's behind our back? We have the shadow of Robert Pattinson's Batman. We are vengeance. We are the night. We are not Martha.
Wait a minute.
What
are these clues here?
Wait, what clues?
Riddles.
Yeah, it is riddles. What does it say? Is it like a cheat code on get the Fortnite skin of Batman?
Is it supposed to summon a demon or something? Or what the heck?
I don't know, because I don't want to be part of one of those rituals that's a part
like
of the
Egyptian language or something. I don't know.
I don't even
question marks.
Yeah, possibly. Anyway, let's go into the theater and probably see something special on the way.
Yeah.
Can't forget this. Can't wait to see the Mario movie, but this is the most anticipated movie of April 8, 2022. Gotta take a photobomb. Papa's got a brand new stash. We see the blue blur. We see his sidekick, and don't forget Idris Elba as a talking red echidna. But let's not forget this, April 8th, 2022. My most anticipated movie, but for right now, we'll just get to the Batman. But thank you very much, guys, for the photos. Oh, sorry for bumping into you.
It's okay. I thought it was going to be like on purpose, that film.
It wasn't at all, but you guys cannot wait to see that film next, right?
That's right.
Absolutely. So, but as of right now, we're gonna get our screenings to the Batman. Let's go, guys.
Oh, that movie was off the chain, dude.
That was peak cinema.
Hot take. There's a hot take coming up. Best Batman movie of all time. Best DC film of all time. And as of right now, the best movie of 2022 for me. Come at me. Come at me.
Come at him. Come at him. Do it.
This film, like what you said, peak cinema, but peak Batman. Director Matt Reeves gets it. He understood the assignment. He understood the assignment of Batman. And this movie did the impossible that no other Batman movie has ever topped since what Nolan did. Aside from the realistic aesthetics, I really love the murder mystery that the story evolves in, but also showing how a true detective Batman is that no other live-action movie has done but this one. And the way it established its world, the rogues gallery, the camera work, Gotham feels like Gotham once again. And the dialogue, the script writing, the acting, the drama. This movie is A-list, A+, top tier, and the score. I can't forget it. Michael Giacchino's score. I'm a big fan of his music work, but arguably speaking, this has got to be my favorite Batman soundtrack out of all of them. And I do have a soft spot for Danny Elfman's, Ellie Golenthal's, Hans Zimmer's, but Giacchino nails it. And another hot take, Robert Pattinson has got to be my favorite Batman out of all the Batmans. And I'm talking about in live action, of course, but man, Pattinson is so committed to the role. There's a lot of Batman in it. The movie centers around Batman. It has the villains, but I will give one criticism to the last Batman movies, aside from Batman Begins. The villains always steals the show, and they mostly take the spotlight. But this movie has its balance of when do the villains, when do the other side characters, and Batman, how they really develop them. Even the dialogue, how Robert Pattinson speaks, it's just straight out of the comic books. Even the animated shows and the games. Great fighting choreography. Great sense of build-up, send-offs, payoffs. And aside from Pattinson's performance, which, like I said, I think it's personally the best in his career, but aside from Pattinson, my golly, Riddler, like, even though I was skeptical about the suit, but man, Paul Dano, he reinvented, just like what Heath Ledger did to the Joker, reinvented the Riddler, not just in a realistic and evil take, but a very three-dimensional, complex mythology horror. I'm just speechless. Even though, yes, I have a soft spot for Jim Carrey's Riddler, which is nostalgia fun, but this Riddler is as intelligent as Riddler is, but similar how he plots, his getaways, his riddles, his mysteries, his kills, his murders. It's a lot like Kevin Spacey's John Stowe from the movie Seven. If you don't know what it is, look it up and thank me later. That's what the movie reminds me of, David Fincher's Seven. And the Riddler is scary, creepy, and all that, but he definitely is a very intense villain up onto the big screen. And I really love Jeffrey Wright's Commissioner Gordon. I like that. It's kind of like a good cop, bad cop between his Batman and Commissioner Gordon. It's just amazing. Same goes for Zoe Kravitz Catwoman. I honestly, another hot take, this might be the best Batman/Catwoman chemistry since Batman Returns, if I'm being honest. It's very deep, very complex, and Catwoman's nothing. She's not just like a sexy female fatale that's flirtatious. She definitely has a lot of boundaries, some struggles, a lot of personal stuff that she has gone through for her life, even from her emotions and how Batman helps her out. And even though they don't see eye to eye most of the time, but they eventually reminds the times like back in the comics that yes, they were indeed partners. And Colin Farrell's Penguin, even though I do have a soft spot for Danny DeVito's Penguin, But heck yeah, man, he totally nails it. Totally unrecognizable in the makeup. But yeah, this film, it's amazing.
Look at that.
Whoa. Good. Bye. Joygasm! Well, no proper after credits, but I'm all in for the Batverse. What Mr. Reeves got, the spin-off shows, the sequels, I'm all in for the Matt Reeves Batverse. All of it. We're going to talk about more about it in the car. Let's just go.
What's up, y'all? Still in shock.
I know. I could go on and on for what I have to say, but I'm just going to start off with you and Gabriel next, just like as usual with Spider-Man and Venom. What are your thoughts on everything on the Batman?
Bro, that everything in this movie, like just the directing, acting, the story, soundtrack, everything, that's just pure talent and art, okay? I always expect a little bit of for movie and stuff like that. People are just, it's just, we expect things like not always be perfect, but I can't find anything to just find flawed. Like this is the Batman movie. This is what I think will exceed expectations for everybody. And I think it totally deserves that high 10 out of 10 rating. And I give it a 10 out of 10. And like, although I'm easily entertained and stuff like that, I truthfully mean this as, I'm not just saying as, oh yeah, it's a 10, it's a great movie. No, this, you guys got to see this. And who knows? I don't want to make predictions for everybody, but just, you know, chances are your favorite live action Batman movie might just completely change after this. It's just the way you compare it and see everything else. It's just, it'll change and you'll just be like amazed. Literally, I remember the hype for this movie and stuff like that. And when it first started, everyone was like, "Oh crap, is this gonna suck? Is Robert Pattinson gonna suck at this? Yo, you guys need to suck it." What the freak? It's like all this hate like became like luck or something, you know? Mm-hmm. It's crazy. And like, I don't want to steal anything you said, so you can move the
Yeah, like what I said, I'm just trying to show my face so I can speak more. Like, it's exactly what Michael Keaton is, exactly what Christian Bale, Ben Affleck were saying, this guy's not like the good casting choice. But once when they donned the cape and donned the cowl and the bat symbol, they proved them wrong. And like what I said, Robert Pattinson, like, it's like saying, like, the definitive casting for comic book roles, like when they say, Christopher Reeves will always be my Superman. Robert Downey Jr. is perfect as Iron Man. I can't see anyone else as Wolverine aside from Hugh Jackman. I know there's so many actors that donned the cape of Batman before, but I think Robert Pattinson has got to be the most accurate Batman on screen that I see out of all of them. And like what you said,
I love Bale, I love Affleck, man.
Yeah.
I love Keaton, but Jesus Christ,
Pattinson, he did it.
You did it.
And secondly, like what you said, that after this movie, whatever your favorite Batman movie is, it probably might be changed after seeing it. And once again, it's a debate. I'd say it's better than The Dark Knight. Visually, the way it's built up, and like I said, love Heath Ledger's Joker, and I still think that's the peak Batman villain on screen. But, once again, everything for what this film does, including the drama, I may not cry, but I felt emotion once when there was so much intense moments, some heartbreaking moments, and a lot of character development in that film. And once again, it's definitely gonna be something for what Batman fans, the diehards will love it. Even the casuals who don't know much about Batman, you don't have to worry about reading comics or anything. Just go fresh with some open eyes for a murder mystery noir-ish type of film. And I think that's the greatest way just to take this new Batman. And the greatest thing about Batman movies from past to now is that most filmmakers put a creative vision on what style and what tone and what so much creative control for what they want to do for Batman, which makes the character such an icon, and which makes the main reason why they're not making like Batman movies, not just for the sake of cash grab, but just because there's great visionary filmmakers out there, and Matt Reeves is definitely one of them. I mean, ever since he made those Planet of the Apes sequels, I was all in for this guy to direct the next Batman movie, because once again, he gets it. He totally understood the lore, the logics, the emotions, the development, and what's on the inside of Batman's world. So anyway, I can go on, but Gabriel, what would you like to say for this particular Batman movie?
Like I said, there were things I expected, like when I said earlier that I'm a big fan of the Arkham games, and I wanted it to be like that. I kind of expected it to be similar or close to that, And it definitely was. There were moments where I felt like I was like watching the games again, but like in a movie. And it was so cool, and I just like everything, like the music, the acting, like everyone just did a great job. And you know, I got chills with like so many parts of the movie, and it was so deep, and I love that about the movie. And yeah, I mean, it's different from other comic book movies, and definitely different from the other Batman movies that I've seen, at least. And Ben Affleck was my favorite. I will say that he was my favorite because he reminded me of, like, he just felt like Batman to me. He didn't feel like a cosplayer looking like Batman and just doing Batman stuff. He looked like Batman. He felt like Batman to me, except in the Justice League.
The Justice League cuts.
That was not good. But in the other ones, like in Batman v Superman, I liked him there. I liked him in the Zack Snyder Justice League movie. I like Ben Affleck's Batman, but after watching this, man, I think this is just my new Batman, my new favorite Batman. Like, he just feels so much like Batman. And now, like, besides the comics, of course, every time I'll think of Batman in live action, I'll think of Robert Pattinson. He did a fantastic job, and everyone else did too, like Catwoman. Zoe did a great job as Catwoman. She is Catwoman.
In my opinion, the best Catwoman out of all of them, honestly.
Yeah, honestly.
And the Penguin, like, all that makeup that they did for him is so, like, it's cool, it's good, it's amazing. And he just feels like the Penguin. Everyone feels like their character. And I know people are like like, there are some people out there that are like, oh, why is Gordon black? Like, why does that matter? Like, to me, he felt like the character. He portrayed the character well. He acted as the character well. It doesn't matter about his ethnicity. Like, he played the character well. I can go on.
I just love the chemistry.
Everyone just did so well, and all the characters were so good and cool.
They're all three-dimensional.
And just the story. I love that it's a detective story. That's what Batman is. He's the world's greatest detective.
This movie proves it,
like,
and shows it.
Heck yeah.
Proved it. And there were a little bit of horror elements that really made this murder mystery thing just, like, so interesting. And so, like, creepy because of the Riddler, which the Riddler in this, like, my favorite Riddler was Jim Carrey.
Yeah, same for my two.
I love Jim Carrey. He's
as a fan, and
his
get
Riddler
nostalgic.
was cool, but after this, like, this Riddler is my favorite. Like, he's so creepy, he's weird, he's mysterious, and that's what he's supposed to be.
And he's wacky as well.
Yeah,
He's just insane.
His laugh was perfect, like, perfect.
And he's super intelligent.
Yeah, and he's like, he's awesome. And there is a huge character that is in the movie that they teased.
It's an unnamed Arkham Asylum prisoner.
Oh yeah.
That blew my mind. Like, they killed it.
Yeah, I'm like, this gives us... You want to know what I want to give credit for the movie? Establishing how to do proper world building.
Yeah, that's another thing too, is they set up so much. And, like, they could do so much with this. Like, you have Mr. Freeze, we could have
Court of Owls.
Yeah, that, and Scarecrow, and all these other villains. We could do so much, and that's what makes me excited for this.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more for what Gabriel said, and what Alex said as well. That this film feels like a graphic novel, but a DC comic book just brought to life, but at the exact same time just put into our world. And I said this earlier, Gotham feels like Gotham and looks like Gotham. From the buildings to all the settings, from the rain pouring in to the civilians, even by original, like, ordinary Joes and bystanders and even criminals. I just like how it established the world of Gotham. And like I said, Matt Reeves, he nailed it. And once again, it's just, I know it maybe sound like I'm overpraising it, but I can't find any that much criticisms, I would say, because it's so minor or so little. But other than that, it's just a perfect film. And the fact that I just think that I mean, I'm excited for the rest of the other superhero films for Marvel and DC, but I feel like they have competition to top this one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how can they eventually do for what the Batman just did? And like I said, I recommend this to everyone, whether you are a fan of Batman or superheroes, or if you're not, I still recommend the film because you will get developed into the mystery, to the story, and they do layer some comedy in there. Not like Joel Schumacher, like Saturday morning comedy, but just enough that will make like the audience laugh and chuckle because, you know, at the heart, it's still Batman in a way where it's not completely too depressing. There's still some fun. The action sequences, the visual effects, every single set piece is just eye candy to watch, but not just eye candy. It's like looking at artwork in a warehouse or even at a fancy museum in a different country. Like, I can just look at the visuals, the cinematography of the Batman all day, all night long. And I just can't wait to see what's more of the Batverse. So like I said, the TV shows, potential sequels, like what Gabriel would say, the other villains that they could tease, and I'm just happy that this film exists from all the delays and all of the production, like, pandemic that's just gone to the way, and it just came in at the right timing. So I think the Batman's definitely going to be a big hit financially and critically, and I definitely recommend it. Just go see it.
Go see it.
That's all I can say.
Heck yeah.
But anyway, I'm just speechless right now. I'm just gonna like drive off. Anyway, I'm just gonna sign off. So anyway, you guys have anything last to say before I end this video?
No, other than I mean,
because I have no idea what else to say after this film.
I've seen 3 movies so far this year, and like from theaters, and of course,
in theaters.
definitely my favorite.
Definitely my favorite as well. Sorry, Uncharted, it just wasn't as great as the Batman.
Yeah.
Anyway, last thing you have to say, Gary, before I sign off?
I don't know, man. This movie made me speechless.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm kind of mumbling.
It's amazing. Like if you're a Batman fan, if you're a comic book fan, DC fan, whatever it is, you have to see this. Like, it's just, I don't know. I want to say it's perfect.
Yeah, like, I can't find too much to complain about it.
I don't know how else to describe it. It's like, it's perfect. I'll say it. It's perfect.
It's perfect.
It is. And I know people are going to say, is it better than Spider-Man No Way Home? Okay, it's kind of like comparing apples and oranges in a way. Yeah. Where you can just love the experiences, but also the films as itself. And that depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
But I still love what No Way Home did as a Marvel fan, and I love what the Batman did as a DC fan as well.
They're both different.
Yeah, they're both different type of films, and they are like great movies in my personal opinion. And it's a love letter to be a fan of both my favorite Marvel character, Spider-Man, but also my favorite DC character of Batman. Which is why I'm just so glad that they really done it well. We almost crashed and it was definitely not the Penguin.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's all I have to say, guys. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care now. Bye-bye then.